guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. And this one we're going to talk about trust in government in Sweden versus the US because I think it's an important topic to talk about right now. Because one of the cultural things that shocked me so much when I first came to Sweden was what a high trust in government Swedes have of their government. I used to think it was silly that they trusted so much and they never expected that the government could be corrupt. Now, I believe all governments have their own forms of corruption, but it's interesting because how the democracy here works in Sweden, they don't have some of the same issues and problems that the United States had that has led us into such high untrust in government. I used to look at Swedes like they were sheep because they trusted the government so much, and I just thought, oh, that's silly. All governments are corrupt. But coming from being here and from the United States, growing up in the United States as a kid, people always ask, like, why don't people vote in the United States? Well, you can feel hopeless because you see all the problems with our political structure. You see these companies and corporations funding super PACs to push their narrative in commercials. There's so many negative ads on television telling you that each candidate is super, super horrible, but that time that you vote, you're convinced that both of them are jerks. And then you have all the political contributions of money being thrown at politicians that when they actually do get in power, maybe they'll side with the oil company that fix their, help them get reelected than actually do something that's good for the environment, for example. And on top of that, you had Iraq war, you had all the issues there. That trust, there's such a low trust of the government in the United States that it's having such a negative impact on us. And I believe that foreign governments are able to just do so much damage to us because we already have the loss of trust. I mean, all you got to do is look at now in the United States, right? Do you wear a mask? Do you not wear a mask? Some people think the virus is overblown. Some people think that, that it doesn't exist. Other people are taking it super seriously and fearing for their lives constantly. So there's all these extremes. And you're seeing now the country getting torn apart because of such high, no trust in the government. Plus you have all these people that have these crazy theories. They see something on Facebook and they're convinced there's something about human beings. We want to be convinced that we know more than everybody else, that we understand it all, that we figured it out, the big thing. And then you see all these crazy theories and things going on online, which I'm not going to mention now because I don't want to get demonetized. However, if you look at Sweden and you just compare the coronavirus response, for example, even though Sweden didn't have as many restrictions in place as the United States did in the beginning, and even though I don't necessarily agree with everything that Sweden did, and I will wait till the second wave comes through. So if I'm wrong, I will sit here and admit that I'm wrong. I have no problems with that. But the Sweden with less restrictions has had more success fighting the virus than the United States. And I really think it comes down to government trust, because even though some people were skeptical, like myself, being the American guy, skeptical of the plan, a lot of Swedes still trusted that the Swedish government was going to do the right thing, that they followed the advice and they followed the recommendations. We don't have large gatherings. Yes, you can go to a bar or a restaurant, and certain things still exist where people are getting in contact close together, but you're not allowed to have a gathering of more than 50 people. And yet you see in places in the United States, such as Florida, thousands of people getting together for a presidential rally. And that is the biggest difference, I think. And it's not so much me trying to push my political opinion on you as much as just look at America yourself and see the level of distrust. And I've thought about this so much because you can see, Sweden had a great success with the coronavirus strategy. Sweden has more people vote in an election than the United States do. Swedes trust their government and they see their government work for them. America is the first democracy, and that's fantastic, and I'm proud of that, okay? But just because we're the first democracy doesn't mean we're necessarily the best or the most fair. And a lot of changes need to be done to our system, such as taking the money out of politics. Make it free for any politician to have a commercial on television or on the internet, but give it equal amount of time to both people. Take away negative ads. It's unworthy. Just talk about what your plan is and why you think the plan is better. If there's a negative ad, someone else can talk about their plan on why it's better than your plan, but they don't have to attack each other as people. The problem with all that lies in the people in power in the Republican and Democratic Party. They don't want to give up their power. They don't want to have more political parties in our system. They are actually using this distrust to help their side. And whether you're on the Republican side or the Democrat side, they're pushing their narrative and using fear and distrust on their side, while governments like China, like Russia, also push their narrative across. I've seen such a high intake of Russian bots on my channel pushing certain political narratives. And it's always scary when it happens during an election. I saw it happen during Sweden's election. It's happening now, and it's crazy, the amount of government interference. Our system has basically caused this issue, and I would love for us to be like Sweden and trust our government and have politicians that we believe do care, and still have corruption in the government somewhat, but not to the same extent where it tears people apart, because you have people now, they don't know what to believe or what to think. The news is fake, or the news is real, or what they saw on Facebook that their grandma showed them must be true about the coronavirus. You see it happening, and I find it so frustrating that in a world where we have so much information at our fingertips and technology has advanced so much, it's actually had a negative effect on our intelligence. We're seeing a lot more, I guess, uneducated people, and we're seeing a lot more harm being done by social media just due to the fact that these social media apps make money showing you all the crazy crap. And if you share it with your grandma on Facebook, the same crazy crap, well, that's what they're going to get to sell some cat food to you or something else. So, you have to forgive me for being frustrated. And whether in the left or right here, you can tear me a new one. I have been ridiculed a lot. I've been getting so much hate for just giving my opinion. But let me ask you this. Why is there so much distrust? We got to fix the problem on both sides. Some people are going to say all the distrust comes from the liberal media. Then the other side's going to say that all the distrust is because of everything that Trump says. We got to just fix this, guys. We got to find a way to do this. And the people that are in power, they had to think about their grandkids. They had to think about their grandkids. And what kind of world do we want to leave behind for others? Can we continue in this way of corruption and mistrust? Because I currently can't see us surviving as a nation if we continue to do this. It's bad for everybody involved. Let's fix it together. First, go out there and vote. Whoever you want to vote for, go out there and vote. And let's fix this corruption together. Peace.